Good evening. Good evening. I am Majida Bay, your financial conductor, and welcome to Momentum Chat. Man, today we're going to have a phenomenal show, our week 10 of our ABCs of Wealth series, and we are going to be talking about jobs and joy. So, hey, stay tuned, tell a friend, get a pen and pad. We won't be before you long, but we definitely want you to take some notes. All right, we'll be getting started in just a moment. Good evening and good evening once again. I am Majida Bay, your financial conductor. I help parents and professionals get on the right financial track and become someone both their parents and children can be proud of. And unfortunately, my co-host won't be joining us this evening. I'll keep him in your prayers. He's a little under the weather, but we definitely will look forward to seeing him next week as we continue our series on the ABCs of wealth. So once again, I am Majida Bay, and today's topic is on jobs and joy. All right, so we're talking about wealth. And so wealth starts with what we talked about last week. It starts with income, right? You have to have something coming in. And typically that comes from a job, right? That's typically the first means of earning an income. Doesn't have to be, right? Nothing against the entrepreneurs out there. But typically, you may get started off with a job where you're able to earn a wage. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit today about how we perceive the work that we do. I believe it's so important that the work that you do matter. All right. I don't believe people should be doing work that they don't enjoy, that um, they don't have a heart to do, because it impacts other people, right? It impacts individuals, it impacts companies, it impacts a lot of different things. And so it's certainly important to enjoy the work that you do. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to enjoy every aspect of the work, right? There's always going to be something that you don't enjoy, and it just comes with the territory. But it's important to have a mindset of how a job or how work can benefit you. And so I say that to give you some perspective, because I've heard people say, "Oh, I'm at a dead end job. I feel stuck," and I really believe that we're all purposed to be here on this earth, and so finding work that is meaningful, finding work that uh, can make an impact, that you can be of significance. I've had the opportunity over my years to meet people in different areas, in different industries, who are meant to do the work that they're doing. Right, I have a good friend of mine who's in education, and he's an assistant principal in that arena, and he loves what he does, right? He wants to make an impact. He wants to make a difference. And I think that matters. And I think all the work that we do should have that type of impact. We should want to make a difference and be of significance in the lives of other people. And so when you're looking at a job, don't just look at it for a paycheck. I promise you, right? That's what Eric Thomas calls the low-hanging fruit. Right? Look at a job for how you can serve. And even in the areas that I've had the fortune of being able to work, from finance to management, even when I was a waitress, it was always about service. And I think that's so, so important in the job that you do. And for all of those parents out there, if you've already started school this year, your children have already started school this year, or the teachers out there, shout out to all the teachers. They're preparing for the school year or just getting started with the school year. Man, that is a job that definitely takes a unique individual, right, with a lot of patience, a lot of courage, and it's so important that who we have teaching our children, teaching the next generation, loves what they do, right? It makes a difference, right? It can make the difference in the life of a child and their future and who they believe they can become. And so that's definitely one of the roles. That's one of the positions, careers, if you will, that I think is really, really important to be conscious of your impact, right? Sometimes positions like teachers, can kind of be considered, it's just something that I can do because I have a degree, right? If I can't do anything else, I could be a teacher. But If you're not in it because you love children or because you want to make a difference, imagine how many people you're impacting by choosing a job that you don't really enjoy. And so the other side of that, is joy, right? I think that, this is something that I learned growing up. When hope and love are back of toil or work, then all of life is filled with joy and peace. And this is heaven. Now, I'm not here to be religious or anything like that, but I do believe that the work that we do can be a heaven on earth, right? We can really see ourselves in the light when we have that hope and love behind the work that we're doing. And so, for all of those out there who are, looking for maybe a different career path, or maybe you feel stuck or dissatisfied with where you are, think about what it is that you enjoy doing, and think about who you enjoy serving, right? I love being able to serve my parents, being able to serve my community in different capacities. And, my co host and I talk all the time about how we're able to serve people in the financial arena because we were able to learn a skill set through finances that enabled us to be able to not only apply it to our own lives, but turn around and teach it to others. And that's meaningful, right? To do work that is of significance that can impact other people's lives. I believe it's important to find work that can give you that return, if you will, that return on your investment. And so when I think about all the different jobs that I've had over my life, started working from a very young age. And I was always taught to have a strong work ethic, no matter where I was, right? And so the jobs that I did, it wasn't about the work, it was about the impact, it was about the service, from being a waitress at 15, 16 years old to being a cook or washing dishes, being able to have joy in whatever work that you do, finding joy in the work, no matter what it is, whether you're a street sweeper or a trash collector or a teacher, having joy in the work that you do is so, so important. And I think that's part of the legacy in building wealth, being able to have a sense of uh, accomplishment or a sense of fulfillment from the work that you do. And so I know, for the entrepreneurs out there, we've heard the term that jobs are, just over broke, or jail operating as a business. And I want to challenge those perceptions simply because when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so if you perceive your job as being just over broke and just barely getting by, or you perceive it as jail operating as a business, then you're not looking to learn or get from it, right? Uh, don't just get through the day, right? I know I got to bring up my man Jim Rohn. I should have had him as the ABC's wealth, Jim Rohn, right? I should just put Jim as the topic for this week. But Jim Rohn says, don't just get through the day, but get from the day. What can you learn where you are, right? And maybe where you are, even if you may not be embraced in the way that you want to be embraced, what difference could you make? What path could you be a trailblazer on? I've definitely seen opportunities for myself where I'm able to be, in a sense, a trailblazer, be a pioneer in a lot of respects because of the industry that I'm in and the impact that I'm able to make and the representation that I'm able to show in that industry. And what that does for other people is show them the possibilities. Oftentimes we can get narrowly focused in, what's possible for us, right? I know growing up it was like, all right, you wanted to be an athlete or a celebrity, right? But now in the age of social media and with information being so accessible, right now you have YouTubers and gamers, right? Like those are the careers of choice. But there's a lot of careers out there, and I think it's important to take time and figure out what is it that you would enjoy doing, right? I've heard before that when you find something you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And it's not so much about loving the work, right? Like I don't think that's necessarily the goal, but love the process, love the steps that it takes, right? The growth that you're able to have in whatever job that you choose. I know for myself, I was able to grow in a lot of ways by being in an industry that didn't necessarily reflect my personality, but it gave me room to grow, right? It was an uncomfortable environment that allowed me to grow and to prosper. And sometimes we can choose careers or choose jobs because what's comfortable or what we like to do. But sometimes we need to choose discomfort, right? We need to choose the things that's going to challenge us, that's going to strengthen us, that's going to help us improve. And I think that's key in terms of finding joy, because I've heard the term that success is defined as measurable progress in reasonable time. All right, measurable progress in reasonable time. And so if you can find a job where over time you can make progress, you can get promoted, you can develop new skills. And, John and I have talked about this before. What if the skills that you've acquired over a few years, a decade, 2 decades, you can then turn around and maximize or leverage those skills to benefit yourself, right? And so positioning yourself to learn while you earn, right? That's the way that I look at a job, right? You get paid to learn on someone else's dime, right? Somebody else is paying you to learn. And so while you're there, if you realize that, this isn't really for me, I see how things are run, I don't really think it's for me, go somewhere else and find out what you can learn. There's a book called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and by T. Harv Eker. And one of the examples he gave was that, he thought he wanted to be in the pie business. He wanted to buy a bakery. And so he got a job working in the bakery, and he started off, in the back of the house, maybe a busboy, washing dishes, that type of stuff. But he talked with the chefs and he talked with the managers and he learned how the business operated. And by the time he finished working there, he realized that he was not interested in the pie business, right? But he got paid to learn that lesson. So what is the job that you're in, whether you're a cashier at a fast food restaurant or a bagger at a grocery store, right? A lot of those are going away with all this automation, right? But at the same time, wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, there's so many jobs right now, right? There's so many opportunities to earn. And why not go learn and see if you could position yourself to become maybe a manager in a restaurant or in a retail store, or position yourself to start your own business. You never know. But it's really your perception. It's really how you see the opportunity that's before you. And you have to see it as that, right? I like to have the mindset that there are no problems, only solutions, right? That there are no, there's nothing that you're not able to do as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you uh, keep giving yourself the opportunity to learn. And so, as we're talking about wealth, right, and building wealth, right, the job may be the starting point of that, where you earn an income. And then, of course, with the help of myself or my colleague, John, you can get some assistance on what to do with that income, right? Maybe it's just the beginning. The job, it could be just the beginning of a future career, or it could be the beginning of earning income and then learning what to do with that income so that you can position yourself and have the freedom and the future that you desire. But you got to get started. And so I believe it's so important to be joyful in the work that you do, right? Uh, the people that you work with, the people that you are your customers, they're looking to you, they're looking at you to have a good experience. And so if you can, excuse me, if you can bring light or make an impact where you are, it could definitely develop, or it could help someone else. And so I won't be before you long, right? I'm used to having my colleague here and being able to, get his insight and feedback, because I can definitely say have an opportunity to work with John in the financial services arena has definitely opened my eyes to possibilities that I never would have seen before, right? And it simply started with him asking me, "Hey, why don't you come work with me?" And hey, we had a good relationship. He was somebody I trusted, and I was like, "Sure, right?" Because if nothing else, I could learn, right? I could learn better how to manage my finances. I could learn better what to do with my money. But 10 years later, right, I'm in a position to where I can not only manage my own money, but I can help other people position themselves better financially to make better decisions, make more informed decisions about what to do with things with the money that they make. But it's never about how much money you make. It's really about how much you get to keep. And so, no matter what job you have, whether it's, like I said, a $20,000 a year job or a $200,000 a year job, right? Oftentimes, we think that the more money we make, the happier we'll be, or the more successful we are. And to be honest, it's our habits about money that really determine the outcomes that we have. I was listening to a gentleman yesterday, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and he talked about that, right? He's a PhD in like financial psychology or something like that. But he was interested in how people thought about, or how people uh, reacted to the money that they make, or their mindset when it comes to money. And he studied that. And that's really, really a key part. Even as a financial strategist, the work that we do is much more than just writing numbers on a piece of paper, right? We're not mathematicians, I promise you, right? You don't have to be great at math to work in the financial arena. But what we do is we figure out, what is it that you want? Why do you want that? And what is it that you're willing to do to get it? And then we help devise a plan to help you get there. It's as simple as that, right? But most people don't know what they want. We just do what we're accustomed to doing. We do what we see other people doing. And so it's important that your environment reflect what it is that you want. The people that you surround yourself should reflect what it is that you want. So if you're in a job and there's a lot of negativity and people aren't right, maybe you were called to go to that job to bring inspiration or positivity to that environment, right? Uh, you were called to bring joy to the workplace. And it's really your perception of it, right? How you perceive what it is that you do, right? We all have choices that we can make. And so if you choose a job, see what you can learn from that. See what you can learn from what it is that you're doing, what impacts you can make, and certainly who you can serve in that capacity. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, we're not going to be here long. It's hard for me to talk a lot as a self-proclaimed introvert, right? I love talking about things that can make a difference, that are meaningful, that can impact other people. And I definitely wanted to be here today with you guys just to be consistent, right? I'm a little under the weather myself, if you could tell, but I hope that the information that I shared this evening was impactful, could benefit you, and maybe just give you something else to think about. I like to ask a lot of questions, in talking with people or sharing these messages. And so, if you read in the description, your teeth, okay, go brush. If you read in the description, I can't talk now. If you read in the description, there's some questions there to ponder about choices that you can make, or how you think about the work that you do. But I want you to know, whatever work you do, the work you do matters, right? It can matter in a positive way, or it can have a negative outcome, but the choice is up to you. So make sure that you choose work that can benefit others, that's meaningful, and that can have a positive impact on the people that you are connected with. This has been Momentum Chats. I am Majida Bay. your financial conductor. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week for week 11 of our ABCs of Wealth series. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.